put everything in perspective. This is something I advise everybody to do. I remember a friend of mine, he used to cycle to work every day. He didn't have great wages, and it's only later on in life I realised something he had that I didn't. He didn't have any debt, because back then I had a car. I needed a car to get to work, so already I was paying £179 a month for the car, plus I was paying my petrol, £1,200 a year in insurance. So by the time you add it all up, I was actually giving away 1/3 of my salary to transportation in some form, because I was still quite young at the time. That's the perspective point of view, is look at what things are costing. If a new job is going to pay you £10,000 a year more, and the time loss and commute isn't going to make you any better off, are you better off in a lower paid job locally? Weigh it up, because you might be. I know people that do kebab shops in Worcester that take home £500 to £700 a week because it's a cash industry. Not saying they fiddle their accounts, but at the end of the day, it's a cash business, and they earn less than me, but more than me, because everything I have is declared for tax, where theirs isn't. There's always a way around things. There's always a perspective that people don't show you. There's always a sales pitch on it. I remember back in the start, it's probably about 96 I think it was, when I first seen water dispensers coming into the offices in the UK, and I thought, why are they even here? These won't catch on, because you can drink the drinking water. With a bit of media influence and a bit of persuasion, people now predominantly seem to be drinking water from expensive bottles, expensive plastic bottles. But nobody really talks about the mutations that are caused by the plastics in plastic bottles. So you're sold one thing, and then they ignore telling you something else. All I can say is water in the UK is generally drinkable. I can't see how a bottle of water in the Alps is any better than the water that comes out of the river. I would also add to that, I drank water from the tap my whole childhood. If there was going to be some poisons in the water, it would have been then, not now, because the amount of process involved in doing anything these days, it makes it very difficult to do anything you shouldn't be doing. Where back then, or prior to that, we had the Industrial Revolution. That's when you shouldn't be drinking water. These days, it's fine. I mean, people complain there's fluoride in it, but I'm not really fussed. It's not going to ruin my life, and I'm not going to spend £2 or whatever it is on a bottle of water where I can drink from the tap for about 1p. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's what I say about perspective. There's two different ways to look at it. And the first one is like I was saying about the transportation, where commuting is, are you actually getting paid any more or less? And the other one being, be aware of what people sell you, because a lot of time it's manipulated and lied to because there's money in it. Another one I would say is your job worth it? If you're unhappy in your job, it's got an impact on you. You've got stress, you're irritable, it impacts your home life, you get home late, you feel tired, you don't feel good at the weekends, you worry about work over the weekends, in the evenings, can't sleep at night, affects your sleep pattern, quit your job and get another one. You don't need to be in a situation that pushes you around like that. There's too much bullying going on it's mainly the corporate world, I suppose, these days. It's not the expectations are too high, they just know they can bully people. Then there's either people that will quite happily slap one on their chin, or there's other people that will just take it until they break. And I've seen it so many times. I've seen people literally just have their life sucked out of them. people have gone pale over like 6 months as the work stacks up, because as they're getting on top of something, a new project's added. They're managing like 7 projects or something at a time, plus then they go, oh, you need to do this as well. All it's doing is you'll get some director dumping their work on you. Don't get dragged into it, and you can fight your corner. At the end of the day, the worst thing that a lot of these companies are worried about is being sued or being in the media, because one thing it is in the UK is most of the time you'll find in a tribunal that it will go your way, because bullying at work is very, very common these days. So yeah, if you're not happy in your work, change it, get another job. And I know many people that had very high profile jobs that do some bizarre things now. I remember a guy that's a painter. He owned a very large company. Well, I say large, I think his turnover was 1.6 million a year, which for him, in the town is quite a large company. But he basically just paints now because he had a nervous breakdown and basically couldn't handle the stress levels, and now he's just on the paintbrush. Happy as anything now. He's got no worries whatsoever. Okay, he has got his pension and everything else that was carried over from the business, but at the same time, everything's about quality of life. Spain here, this is becoming my quality of life. We're going to be building things up here because I'm going to slowly remove myself from the UK. I can still see me contracting to the UK, but I'm going to see it start to reduce once I start putting things in play, because the main thing I want to put together now, get the property done, get some business started here, get some property investments here, and get stuff set up for the kids for a future. Once I've done that, I can sit back. Thanks for watching.